It's the Insider's Room. Double show again this week. The Saturday Tailgating and Sunday Skin of the Pig Pick'em shows here. I've got Rossman back. Legion of Picks. They've been on steady the last few weeks, giving out their winning picks, and he's Legion knows him from our I think the NCAA big dance breakdown shows. My former tag team partner in college. Bring him on here. You won't be able to see him with a little camera problems, but this is my tag team partner. The Rolex wearing, the diamond ring wearing, the kiss feeling. Woo! Wheeling dealing.
That goes way back. That goes way back. Yeah.
Slick no Rick Markel, the one and only.
Good to be here. I just can't get in the room. Yeah. It's good to be here. I just can't get in the room. That's all.
We used to do this thing that he didn't drink, but me and I used to drink, and we used to get with a couple other guys in the dorm room, and we're the tag team partners. I was weighing not enough, and he was weighing too much, and we'd always arrest the two other guys in the dorm room. So
I remember that.
This goes way back.
I remember, yeah too much and not enough.
So we'll get right down here. We'll start out with college football here. We'll start out with you, Legion. Your first pick here. You're on the Arizona State, and you like the Sun Devils in this one.
Yeah, and the thing is with this pick here, I'm just fading Washington Huskies. We took Oregon last week just because Washington sucks. And so, again, I'm taking Arizona State in this one. Arizona State, I mean, they've had some good wins, and they have had some bad losses here. I think this is a spot where Washington Huskies, they're not going to have that same enthusiasm as they did against the Ducks in the first half of last game. And they're just going to let Arizona come in here, and I think Arizona's going to run away with this one. I got them winning easily by 13 points here. So this 5.5, I'm not even worried about it. Honestly, if I got it to 7.5, I still wouldn't even be worried about it, to be honest. So I just like what they do on. I like the quarterback play there, dual threat, more mobile than the Oregon Ducks quarterbacks. I think he's going to do a little bit more with his legs here, and that's going to help him open up the pass. Arizona's defense, they can get beat. But that Washington quarterback, I haven't seen anything to say, he's going to beat them, And so, Washington might have a big play or two, but that's probably about it in that game. I'm going to take the Sun Devils in this one to win comfortably on the road. And,
All right. And Washington will be out without their coach in this one also.
Oh, well, that's right, because what happened with that deal? With their coach. I've seen something on it. I didn't click to read on the damn thing because I don't care about Washington at all. So
I don't know. There's something going on the sidelines, and he went over and he grabbed this player. And when he went to grab him, he kind of swung down at him and supposedly hit his face mask or hit his helmet or something.
Oh, that's just There's
and Twitter went nuts, and the school looked into it and suspended him for a game. Yeah.
Wussification of America. Moving on.
All right. Yeah, but here's the thing. But supposedly they said they talked to the players and obviously they're not Spartan strong. I mean,
oh no about that. If you were Spartan strong, you're going to lose to Purdue.
No, I'm not talking about football. But I mean, when Izzo went off on the guy at the end of the UCLA game in the tournament. Yeah. I mean, you had Draymond Green and every other former Spartan come out and say, "Hey, that's the way it is. That's right. It or get out."
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
All right, Ross. I see you mate. You always have to have a Michigan pick in there. I see, and it's your weekly thing in there, and I have no problems with that. But you you got the total in the Michigan Penn State game.
Yes, going under 48.5. I mean, Michigan, a lot of this I think also has to do with just Michigan's inability to score points consistently. They're going to be looking to run the ball. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean they've proven that even if defenses just all out try to stop the run and give you open passes for days, Michigan's just they're content just proving we can run in between the tackles. So Michigan's going to win this game, but I think Michigan's going to really cap out somewhere around 24, 20, probably 24 points, somewhere in that vicinity, and maybe 27. And that's kind of where I'm seeing Michigan cap out their points, and they're not going to have a problem, keeping Penn State to 20 points or less. So Penn State also hasn't exactly been able to score at will. Defensively, they've played all right. Michigan's played all right defensively. This just seems to be one of those, I don't want to say boring games, but I mean, I think it's going to be underperforming, and they go under 48.5.
All right, sounds good. So Rick, it looks like you're rowing the boat this week.
Yeah, bring on PJ Fleck. He signs a contract extension 2 weeks ago, I think 7 years, and he goes out and loses by double digits to Illinois. So everybody's going to be against Minnesota this week, and you got an undervalued team in Minnesota. And they're playing Iowa, who's still one of the most overvalued teams on the board. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, they were ranked the number 2 team in the nation. I didn't believe it then, and I certainly don't believe it now. Minnesota should be able to run the ball on Iowa. I know Iowa's got a solid run defense, but most teams, the average run about 30 times a game. Minnesota is averaging 47 runs per game. They are going to wear down Iowa. The other thing I also like is that Iowa's deciding to make a quarterback change, and Alex Padilla is going to make his first career start against Minnesota. I just think this is a game where you have an overvalued team against an undervalued team. Give me the 5.5 points, and I'll take Minnesota. They should get it outright too.
All right, good. Yeah, and here's the thing: Minnesota's running the ball 47 times a game, and they can't keep anybody healthy.
Yeah, and that's true.
They just know what I'm saying. They just keep,
right.
We'll just keep running it. Yeah, all our running backs get hurt, but hey, it don't matter. We'll just keep running it.
I don't think it was a good week of practice in Minnesota. I mean, I'm sure Fleck was over them all week. So they're going to give a good effort, I'm sure.
All right. Good. So, Legion, it seems like your next couple of picks are teams that you and picks you went with last week. You think you had Oklahoma State under last week, and you like them again this week.
Yeah, I'm going back to the well on this one. I mean, Oklahoma State, their defense put West Virginia only scored 123 yards or 130 yards total offense here for the game, and I think that was Oklahoma State's best defensive game in like the last 15 years. Looking back at stats on that, and so when I'm seeing that, and then now they're going up against a TCU team that's going to have a backup quarterback, a backup running back. And then obviously they got their new interim coach or whatever. Maybe he will be the coach there for TCU. I just find that's going to be a hard spot for TCU to really generate any type of offense here. Yes, I'll give them credit. Their offense is a little bit better than West Virginia's. They have better playmakers at the skilled positions. I will give them that. But as far as even if you have all this skill, you still got to try to move the ball on that defense. And I'm thinking – they're gonna, get into the red zone, and then the defense will break a little bit. But then they're not gonna give up touchdowns. They're gonna give up some field goals here. And I just can't see, Oklahoma State's offense. They're not they don't blow anybody out of the water here, right? They don't win, 30-5 or 30-7, right? They don't sit there and put points up and do that kind of football. So they're gonna get a nice little lead here, and then they're just gonna run the ball and run down the clock. And so I got Oklahoma State winning here. I think it was 34 to 14 is what I have here. So I'm getting an extra, 6-7 points, for the under to be secure on this. And I'll be shocked, if TCU really gets more than 20 points, honestly. So,
All right, there you go. From an Okie himself, right there.
yeah.
All
All
right.
it's on the radio around here is Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, So,
So all right. So Ross, you're sticking with the Big Ten and another Michigan school here, and do you like the total in the Maryland Michigan State game?
Yes. This is a lot. A lot of this has to do with Michigan State's loss last week. Michigan State, they're better than that. They got caught in a trap game. So I definitely think that they're going to come out and they're going to be looking to put on an offensive show. The problem, though, is the Spartans secondary is awful. And so Maryland leans heavily on their passing attack right now. They've struggled rushing the ball as of late. So I don't think it's going to be difficult for Maryland to get the ball down the field. They'll score enough. Michigan State, though, is going to be looking to probably score, 45, 50 points themselves. I mean, I love games like this, and I like to take the over when a team is kind of has their back against the wall a little bit, where, beating a team by a lot of points makes a difference. So that means you got to score a lot of points. And fresh off of a loss, this definitely is poised to be one of those games for Michigan State. But Maryland's going to get theirs too. They're going to lean on the passing attack, and Michigan State is having a hard time stopping that right now. So both teams will get their points.
All right, sounds good. Rick, you're moving outside the state of Michigan, and you're looking at East Carolina.
Yeah, we got a sandwich spot here for Memphis. I think going into the year, most people would consider Southern SMU and Houston as the two best teams in our conference. Well, Memphis goes out and upsets SMU. That's a huge ball game because SMU was undefeated coming into that game. So now they're fat and happy, and guess who they got on deck? Well, they got on deck is Houston next week. So that's the second best team in the conference. So I think they're going to find it hard to get up for East Carolina. East Carolina's got a very solid offense, and I just think that Memphis is going to have a problem getting up for this game. And I think they're going to come out flat, and I'll take the 5.5 with Memphis having Houston on deck. Give me the 5.5 with East Carolina.
All right, very good. Legion, going back to you always stick with your roots, either Oklahoma, in state of Oklahoma, or out west in Oregon. And
yep.
You had the Ducks last week, and you're taking the Ducks again this week.
I'm going to take them again this week, and that 13.5 points, it kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Washington State has only lost by that much when they played USC, when they got blown out by 31. So can Oregon produce on offense here? I'm hoping they definitely can. And the other problem with Oregon, I guess, they're going to be playing Utah in the next game. So is this a classic letdown spot because they're going to look ahead to play Utah potentially? Because I think Utah is the team that could give the Ducks their next loss here. But if you're the Ducks and you're in the top 4 of the college football playoff race still, which I don't think they should be there myself, but since they're there anyways right now, I believe that they need to really win games by quite a bit of points here. You can't just barely win like against Washington. You just win by 10 points here, and you got kind of lucky towards the end of that game. You got to win by 20, 30 points to really put a statement on the college football folks there to say, yeah, okay, they deserve to keep being in this spot here. Because if they barely win Washington State, barely win Utah, I just don't see how they're going to stay in the top 4. I wouldn't be voting for them, to be honest with you. So, yeah, their offense is looking shaky as of late, but that running back he had a lot of yards on the ground last week. I think they're just going to keep feeding him the ball. I'd like to see Oregon do a little bit more play action, let the quarterback scramble out of the pocket and throw it downfield a little bit more. So I think, that's going to be able to happen against this Washington State defense, kind of, similar to what USC did to them. So if Oregon has the same game plan like USC did, I think it's going to bode well. And then obviously Oregon's defense is better than USC. So the magic number here, as long as you keep Washington State below, 20 points here, I definitely think they're going to cover this 13.5 point spread. So if Washington State scores more than 20, they're not. Yeah, they're gonna be playing Oregon pretty close, and then that 13.5 won't cash. So that's the number to be kind of looking at if you're gonna be live betting and to potentially hedge out. That's why I'm probably gonna make my hedge is around that point right there, and we'll just see what happens. So.
All right, just as you said last week when that game finished, quack quack.
Yeah, quack quack. That's right.
All right, so Ross, as I used to always say back in the day, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and you and the man, Mr. Markel, have the same pick here for your last picks. So I'll let you go first here. You got Baylor. You like Baylor?
I do. Yeah, I think. I mean, everyone has kind of realized that the Sooners have underperformed. Everyone has managed to keep Oklahoma close. They're 4-5 against the spread this season. So, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that people have been able to keep Oklahoma close. I think Baylor is going to be able to keep this one close. I don't see this. Realistically, I think this could be one of those games where Baylor may have a chance to actually win. Oklahoma is bound to have these close wins go the other way. If you play with fire, eventually you get burnt. And I think Baylor has a legitimate shot at doing that. But worst case scenario, I think they managed to keep one of these pretty close, take it down to the wire, and maybe lose by a field goal at the worst. But I'm probably going to sprinkle a little bit on Baylor money line as well for this one.
All right, sounds good there. And Rick, any extra thoughts to add into that?
Yeah, a few things. The thing that really sticks out to me is that Oklahoma has really struggled on the road. They had the neutral site game against Texas, which they trailed most of the game, got lucky and come back and won that. And their other two road games were against Kansas and Kansas State. They trailed in both those games and didn't come close to covering either one of those games. I think Baylor offers the most well-balanced team, offensively at least, that Oklahoma has faced this year. Now, I'll give you that the Oklahoma team is a little bit better since the quarterback changed, but not many teams in the Big 12 play defense. Baylor is one of them, though, and I think you have a classic situation where you have a team with the better defense at home getting points. That's usually a recipe for cashing a winning ticket. So give me Baylor at home plus a 5.5, and I'm with Ross, too. I like to sprinkle a little bit on the money line on that.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys, great college picks there. We'll run them down real quick. Again, just for people that maybe tuned in halfway through the show, why? I don't know. What that's on you. So we go, Legion. You like Arizona State minus the 5.5. Ross, you're on Michigan Penn State under. Rick's rolling the boat with Minnesota. Legion sticking with Oklahoma State and going under in that game. I know we're just trying to set up a good bedlam game here. One loss Oklahoma State against hopefully undefeated Oklahoma.
That's right.
So we can send those Sooners home crying.
Yeah, that's right.
Ross likes Maryland, Michigan over. Rick's on East Carolina. Legion's back with his Ducks. And Ross and Rick both like Baylor and with the points, and they also like a little bit on the money line against Oklahoma. All right, so let's just move straight into the NFL. We'll just keep this thing going. So these guys will give you 3 NFL picks for Sunday. Ross's first pick, you're on the Titans.
Yes. I think what we saw last week with the Titans without Derrick Henry, I talked a little bit about this last week as well. They were able to win. I was ballsy enough to say that I think Julio Jones was going to have his best game in a Titans uniform. While I think he did, it still wasn't all that great. But I do look at Tennessee to. I'm just not sold on the Saints either. I've just been they've been so up and down, and I think Tennessee proved that they could survive without Derrick Henry. Adrian Peterson's old, so it's not going to be through him. It's going to be through the air. But I look for Tennessee to win this one.
All right. Yeah. You. We'll see going forward. Yeah, but here's the thing about the Titans. I think this year's a little bit different than the past, even without Henry. Is the fact that I think their defense has stepped up a lot more than they have in years past. So I think that gives them a good thing going forward. All right, Legion. You still haven't you haven't hopped off the Mahomes or Kansas City train yet. So you like them?
I've actually picked them twice when they covered the spread correctly, and then twice on. Well, hopefully this will be twice on the money line correctly here. So I took them last week. That worked out. And then I got them before the line moved, before Aaron Rodgers news came out. I had them for +1, so that was just a great deal for me, right? I mean, but obviously, yeah, that -7, yeah, that would have been a close one there. But so on the money line here. They're going against, obviously, the Raiders. It's at the Raiders. The Raiders do play Kansas City tough. This is not going to be a cakewalk for Mahomes like some people are thinking. I'm not that arrogant to say, yeah, it's going to be a cakewalk in the park here for Mahomes and company. I do like that their defense has slightly been getting better the last 3 games when you look at the stats. They're finally getting more pressure on the quarterback. So I definitely like that when you're going against Carr, because Carr, if you give him that 4 or 5 seconds, he's just going to destroy you. And then the Kansas City really has to slow down that running game, because Carr with the play action is definitely something that could hurt Kansas City in this game. But I definitely, believe in Mahomes here. They got to keep getting these wins if they're going to try to make a push to make the playoffs, right? And to get ahead of that division again and get it under control here, right? So this game's going to be back and forth. It's going to be who can take care of the football. With Mahomes taking care of the football last week, I'm hoping he takes care of the football again this week. And if he doesn't have the turnovers, if the damn wide receivers stop fumbling the damn ball, then I think Kansas City should actually win this game by a touchdown here. So it's going to be, take care of the damn football this week and make plays. You don't have to make the big plays, right? But just make the plays when needed. They should get the win. So,
all right, sounds good. Rick, I see you're on a team that I think I was on last week and suffered a defeat, but you like the Saints to bounce back this week.
I do, and I know that Ross is on Tennessee, but what I would suggest first off is if you're going to take Tennessee, take them now. If you're going to take New Orleans, wait later in the week. Kamara hasn't practiced the last 2 days. Correct. And they're not sure if he's going to play. So I saw a lot of 3s out there, and there's some 2.5s. But if you're going to take Tennessee, take them now at 2.5. My feelings on this are that I think he'll should be the starter for the Saints, and I think he's going to give them another dimension as far as having a quarterback that can scramble and bail them out a little bit. So that I think that's a boost there. I honestly believe that New Orleans has a better defense, and they also have the better offensive line. Without Henry, I think it is going to be hard for Tennessee to run the ball. Theory about Henry is that the team got really inspired last week in his absence. Everybody stepped up. Well, now that's a week ago, and now that's no longer news. Tennessee is coming off of 4 very tough ball games in a row. They're due for a letdown, and I think this is a spot. Couple interesting statistics. New Orleans is 12-4 against the spread in their last 16 games on grass. New Orleans is 5-0 against the spread off against the spread loss, and New Orleans is 4-1 against the spread off a straight up loss. All those stats back New Orleans, and I think this is just a spot where Tennessee can't play well all these weeks in a row. I think this is a flat spot, and I think this is a time to grab the 3.5, maybe even 4 on Sunday and go with the Saints.
All right. So you should just throw it in there. You're going down, Ross. Woo!
Yeah, that's right.
The Titans are 7-2 against the spread. The Saints are 4-4 this year. I mean, I don't disagree that if you get the Saints early, I think -2.5 for me. I think that's the right bet. I also Taysom Hill is my problem with Taysom Hill is not the answer for Saints at the quarterback position. He serves the Saints much better in the position that he was when Drew Brees was there. Being that utility quarterback, being able to be in an H-back, tight end, whatever, that's Taysom Hill's bread and butter. And if you need him to throw the ball consistently and play that position, I just don't think it's going to equate to a win.
Ross, we didn't say this was a debate. And then next week, tables, ladders, and chairs match. You two.
Ladders and
Yeah, this should be a loser leaves town, right? So, so if Tennessee. No, I'm just saying when Tennessee wins by 10 points, I won't show up. Is that fair?
Tennessee's not going to do that.
No, I that's true, and I understand to agree with you, Ross. I'm looking at value, and I'm not expecting to only get 2.5. I got it at 3, and I'm actually figuring I'm going to put more on it if it goes to 3.5, 4, depending upon how it goes. So.
I can buy that. Yeah, I think. Truthfully, we're kind of in the same boat. I think this is. I see it as a Tennessee. They're going to win this by a field goal and no more. Is what I'm looking at. So it's not going to be a blow the doors off of the Saints or anything.
All right, Ross. So again, there always seems to be some sort of Michigan theme in your picks here, and you're going. Well, no. I wasn't going that one yet, but
no, not yet. Okay.
No, Michigan theme. Rams. Matt Stafford.
All right.
So you like the Rams? You like the Rams to bounce back in this one because, to be honest, man, he did not look good last week.
It's funny. We talked about this a little bit last week too about how we don't. I mean, the debate on whether NFL teams look ahead. I think the Rams got caught looking ahead. I think the Rams were in a position last week where they thought that they were just going to go. They were going to have no problem beating a Titans team that didn't have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I was one of those.
You're right, and so I think as a team, granted they're professional, I definitely think that they were like, no Derrick Henry, this is a cakewalk, and like to what Rick said, I mean, you're right. The Titans absolutely rallied last week, so I mean they for sure gave the Rams everything they had. The Rams a massive letdown, but this is the game that the Rams were looking forward to, and considering that they dropped the ball last week, that's not going to happen here. I know we're getting Von Miller, he didn't play last week. He's going to get a chance to play. The defense for the Rams. I mean, yeah, we talk about obviously the Rams can put up points. They can move the ball down the field. They're averaging 3 sacks a game, and now you're going to bring Von Miller into the mix. I definitely think that that's going to cause some issues for the quarterback position for the 49ers. -4. I mean, I see this as being a touchdown victory. I mean, I always worry a little bit on a field goal +1, but realistically, I think this is going to be a touchdown victory here. I like the bounce back.
All right. And speaking of bounce backs, Legion, I guess you're looking for a big bounce back here with the Bills.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got if you're the Bills team right now and you just got embarrassed and you lost to the sorry Jags, I mean, and you only put up 6 points here. Why in the hell? Where's Stephon Diggs at? Okay. I'm looking for Stephon Diggs on props and stuff this week to have a monster day, over 100 yards, probably 6-7 receptions here. And they're just going to just have at will with the Jets here. I mean, they're going to do anything they want to. I think the Jets will do okay in the first quarter, maybe the first half, but I think finally the Bills are just going to just run up the scoreboard on them. And I mean, you got to be pissed off if you're the Bills, if you're the Bills fans. And being that it's at the Jets location there, I mean, you're going to have a lot of Bills fans there as well, right? So I really think that the Buffalo wins here by 20 plus. There's just the better quarterback play is on the Bills. The better defense is with the Bills. And Mike White's going to get his second start at it. See how he's going to do if he gets hurt again or not midway through the game, and see how that looks. Right. So I really think this is time to feast if you are the Bills right here. And the line was at minus 13.5. Now it's came down to 12. And so I think there's the value is at the 12 right now. Maybe it gets down to 11.5. I don't see it dropping below that, to be honest with you. I'd be shocked unless there's some news that, the Bills quarterback ain't playing, right? And then it's going to go down to like a 7 or 8 or something like that. But I don't think that's going to happen here. So I'm going to ride with the Bills to win by at least 20. So.
All right. Man, you wanted to win by 20 and they only scored 6 last week against Jackson.
Well, that's why you got to do it, right? I mean, people are looking at that and they overreact. Oh, geez, the Bills, the last couple of games, they're just falling off the map here, right? And then now they're going against the Jets, and then they put a big spread up, and so that's why it's getting bought down, right? And so now is the spot for the Bills to, get right. Their mind's got to get right, especially if they're talking about being division leaders and things like that, and Super Bowl, potential and stuff like that. Right now, they're not Super Bowl potential, in my opinion. So they got to figure some things out. And this is the game to get right. It seems like a lot of teams get right when they play the Jets, to be honest with you. So.
All right. I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying the Bills only scored 6 points against back.
No, I know it's ugly. I know
All right, so the next pickup, Rick, and then we'll piggyback this with Ross. I mean, you can take the boys out of Michigan, or Detroit can rip the heart out of the boys, but the boys always come back. It's like a battered wife syndrome. As much as you get beat by, just beat down by Detroit teams, you always come back and love them. So Detroit, Rick, yeah, you like the Lions.
I do. Now get ready to hold your nose. This is a stinky dog. We all love stinky dogs, right? This pick isn't really so much about Detroit as it is about Pittsburgh. But I would like to point out that although Detroit is 0-8, against the spread, they're 4-4, so that's decent. An interesting fact is that Detroit is 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games off against the spread loss. Detroit also has an advantage because they are coming off their bye, whereas Pittsburgh just played Monday night. So they lose a day of preparation, and the Lions have had 2 weeks to prepare. And I think this is as fresh as the Lions have been in a long time, and I expect a big effort from them. Does that get them to the window? I don't know if it wins the game, but it should at least cover the 8.5. Pittsburgh is terrible at home. They're 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 at home. Pittsburgh is 0-8 against the spread in their last 8 as a favorite. So Pittsburgh doesn't have a history of covering big spreads. They don't have a history of playing well at home, at least against the spread. I think everything points here to the Lions getting a junk score at the end and ruining all those Pittsburgh tickets. I'm going to take the Lions plus the 8.5. I'm glad to know, and I hope somebody else has them. I don't want to be the only one of the 8 billion people on the planet to take the Lions again, but give me up the 8.5.
Well, are you going to count on the refs not helping out the Steelers or what?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Exactly.
Because Chicago should have won that game, let's be honest. But
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great point. And Chicago's a 3-win team. I mean, they're not that much better than the Lions, and they go in there and they almost beat Pittsburgh. So you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah. Yep.
Stop somebody. Just play some defense. Stop somebody from going down to kick a field goal in the last 36 seconds of a game. Score inside the red zone. Score inside the red zone. Jeez, it's like you got Bears fans like Michigan fans. Oh, the refs. Oh, but we were in the red score and only 4 times to kick 4 field goals. Get over yourself. Hey, Rick, you're not alone. You're not alone out there. There's one other out of the 8 million people.
Oh yeah, No, you're right. I mean, look, Michigan,
No,
just to
wait,
touch on it.
We can get back. We could talk about that a little bit later. I want to get Ross in here because listen, I sat with Ross. We went out. We were gonna have beers and toast the first Michigan win or the first Lions win over Philadelphia, and it was over by halftime. Or I don't even think I don't even think it made it to halftime before the game was over. But Ross, you're gonna go back to that trough once again, and you're on the Lions.
So I am definitive. I'm taking the plus 8.5, but I'm also going to say it right now. Lions win. The Lions.
Oh,
This is it.
God.
This is it. This is it.
Hey! Have you gotten into Legion's moonshine?
Nope.
Yeah, I know.
Nope.
Yeah, you had
Not
some
yet.
better.
I'm going to be getting into that if the Lions lose, but this is statistically the Lions are going to need to win a game. So I look to only maybe like 2 or 3 opportunities left throughout the rest of the season. They probably won't win. I really want them to win. I actually do think that they're going to win this game, but I'm smart enough as a Lions fan to realize that I'm going to hedge that bet and I'm going to go plus 8.5. So will I put any money on the Lions to win the money line? Absolutely not. I'm not stupid, but I do think that they're going to win this game, but I definitely am going to take them with the points. I agree with Rick. I think we're looking at a Steelers letdown this game, and you don't really have too many trap games in the NFL, but I think we might have one here. So I like Lions plus 8.5, but I think we see a Lions victory here. There's realistically only like 3 more chances that we have. It's here, it's the Falcons, and it's the Bears again. If they don't pick up one of those, it's not going to happen. So please, God, let it be one of those.
No. I like 2 weeks ago, I think I said to Ross, I could have got the Lions. Or the Lions were being offered at like plus 1,100 not to win a game, and he said, "Oh, the Lions will win a game." I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens after like the Philly game or whatever. And then now they're only like plus 400 not to win a game. So I lost all the value on that. I think the only chance I have to win a game is against the Bears. And the way Fields is playing right now, and he's not playing great, but he's playing a lot better. I don't think we have a chance on that one. And the only bad thing, and here's what's the worst about being a Lions fan. We're gonna go 0-17. We're gonna get the number 1 draft pick, and there's no goddamn quarterback to draft in this draft.
There's
no
not.
quarterback to draft number 1.
Now they'll go with the defensive lineman from Oregon.
I'll take him.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, I'll take him for sure. But I'm just saying, there is no quarterback. Usually you're
you're right.
And you get a chance at a quarterback. We don't even get that.
Where's our Peyton Manning? No kidding. Yeah.
You know what? Our Peyton Manning might have been Tua, and we drafted Okuda, and look where that got us.
I
wouldn't want either Tua. Yeah, I wouldn't want Tua.
I'd rather him over Goff and Okuda.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see Blau play. I'm tired of Goff. Get the kid in there. Let him run around a little bit. It's more than Goff can do. I'd go with the quarterback team.
Yeah,
they didn't bench Goff in that blowout with the Eagles. That almost disgusted me more. There's no reason that Goff should have stayed in that game. He was terrible. Just let Blau go in and play.
Yeah, totally agree. Yep.
Nah, man, he may come in and win us a game, and we don't want that.
All right. Don't want that. Yeah, he would have came back in that game.
All right. So no, I don't want to win any more games. I want to go 1-17. All right. So Legion, you and you guys agree on this one? Going with the City of Brotherly Love. You like the Eagles +3 in this one?
Yeah, I bought the hook as right now. If you wait, you might be able to get it at 3 later, but I'll just buy it now, so I don't have to worry about it later because I'll probably forget it when the weekend comes around, to be honest. But the reason why I look at this game, yes, Broncos are coming off of a huge win. No one thought they're going to, go into Dallas and did what they did, right, as 10-point dogs and, handle business pretty good. So this is just a classic letdown spot. If there's going to be one for the Broncos, it's this game. And when I look at both quarterbacks here, I don't care about the receivers are being better on the Broncos. Yes, the Broncos probably still have the better defense. And so why don't we just take the Broncos on this game? Well, the thing is, I'm just looking at the quarterbacks, and I'd rather take Jalen Hurts over Teddy any day. I mean, Teddy, he has all these damn weapons, and he's just dumping it down 3 or 4 yards, 5 yards, and he's not consistent. And it's just an ugly-looking offense right now where Jalen Hurts, at least he adds that excitement factor to it. He's got a little X factor to his game with running ability. They still got Devonta Smith. So I really think that the Eagles are going to win this one outright. So I probably will take the money line when the money line gets a little bit better, hope. And then also, to me, on this game, if Vegas really thought that the Broncos are a better team than Philly, that line should be like 4.5 or something, right? -4, 4.5. But put them at the line came out at -1.5. Now it's at 2.5. It's like, so people are buying into the Broncos just because of recent bias. And so I'm not going to be on that train. I've faded the Broncos many a times here. It's made me some money. I've taken Philly in some good spots. They made me money. So I will take Philly on this one, +3. I think they get the outright win here. A lot of the models that I look at and stuff for stats and things like that, they're kind of mixed on who's actually going to win the game and cover, but most of them actually have Philly covering at that 3 number. So I will, I'll try my luck with that. And I think Philly gets it done.
All right. Sounds good. My only question is, does Jalen Hurts know that they still have Devontae Smith?
Well, that's one thing I'd like to see in this game actually too, is him to get a little bit more receptions here, because it seems like if he touches the ball 7, 8 times, they're doing some good things with the football moving downfield. And another thing I guess I didn't really touch on was the defense of Philly. They have been creating turnovers here and things like that too. So I think they'll be a little bit fired up on this game to create some turnovers with Teddy, and you're probably going to get 1 or 2 of them. You're going to have that opportunity for sure. So there is that. I mean, I think Philly's defense will actually have a better game than the Broncos defense when it's all said and done. So,
all right, sounds good. And Rick, you agree with the Eagles here?
Right on. I really like the Eagles, and it's almost exactly like you said it. You have a fat, sassy cat in Denver who goes into Dallas last week, pulls out a game, and now they got to come home and they're going to play Philadelphia, who they can't believe is that good anyhow. But the most important thing is, guess who they have on deck next week? Well, that's the Chargers, and that's a divisional game, and that division is up for grabs. So I think you might catch them on a look-ahead spot here. The other thing, too, is that with Philadelphia, I think the big point with them is they had a lot of linemen out, offensive linemen. They got them back a couple of weeks ago. Philly has been able to run the ball really well. Over the last 3 weeks, Philly has run for 135, 236, and 176 yards. That should be enough to keep them in the game. I'm not going to say that they're going to win outright, but they should be able to hang within 3 of Denver, and I'll go with Philly.
All right, sounds good, guys. All right, so we'll run these down real quick. Ross, you're on the Titans, -2.5. Rams -4. And sticking with the Lions, +8.5. You just can't get away. It's like a car wreck. It's like a car wreck, right? You just got to keep looking at it.
100%.
Legion, KC money line. Think the Bills are going to score more than 6 this week because you're laying 12.
Yeah, they're at least going to get 18 points.
You're on Philly +3. Rick, you're going to take the Saints, and you like them getting the 3.5. So that way you and Ross both can come out ahead. Detroit, you're also a Detroit boy at +8.5, and you in Legion like the Eagles +3. All right, so there you go, guys. That's 18 picks 15 different picks for your weekend action. So, you know, if worst comes to worst, I hope these guys at least go 8-7.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
remember,
makes
they're
me
all
laugh.
winners. They're all winners until kickoff, at least.
Right.
We're 18-0 until something changes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Rick will be back next week. And, you know, good luck this weekend. And as you know, our mate Rye used to always say at the end of his NASCAR show, let's cash some tickets.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right.